welcome back to the Erlbacher sock machine training video series. I'm Jamie Mayfield, and today's project is going to be Valentine socks made from lace. First we have to take care of some housekeeping. I have to turn this off because I can't listen to me and talk to you at the same time. Okay, come on, computer. I know you have to be smarter than your computer, right? Anyway, if you want to text me during the taping of this show, if you have questions about what I'm doing, you can text me at the number on your screen. Okay, there is a pattern we're going to be using today, and you can download this pattern. It's a 2-page job. You can download this at erlbachergearhart.com. Also, you can send me an email if you have questions or you just want to talk about sock machines. You just go ahead and send me an email because that's my job and I kind of like it. I don't know if you can tell or not. Except that today, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to play What's in My Bag. And since it's Valentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day. Look, I got truffles. Oh, yum. They're really good. Let's see. I have a texting glove. That's yarn I dyed. Oh, I've got some of this new Red Heart reflective yarn. It's really fun to knit with. Let's see. Oh, and here's a flip-flop sock. You know, the ideas never stop coming, but oh, this is what I wanted to show you people. Do you see this? I pulled this thing out of the dryer on Sunday. And you know what they say? It's the sock maker's husband that's feet are cold because, do you see this? These are worn out. These are going in the trash can, honey. Goodbye. So that got me thinking that for my Valentine socks, I was going to show you Valentine socks that I made for my Valentine. Now, just so you know, he's really hot. It's okay. But he's also 6'4" and he's a size 13 foot. So the socks that I'm going to show you for sample today are a little bit large. Oh, and honey, happy Valentine's Day. Can you see my message to you? Can he see that? Okay. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to make that on this beautiful hot pink yarn. I wish you could tell, and I hope you can tell, how vivid this color is. I think it would be Miss Joyce's very most favorite. Anyway, you'll download your pattern. But this, I Heart You, is not a hard thing to do. But let me show you how to do it. Because, like, for example, you see these socks? These are some fancy socks. This was my Valentine from Miss Jenny. You see how pretty those are? And the hearts go all the way down. And there's ribbing and there's cables. I don't have the patience to show you how to make this kind of sock, just so you know. But if you buy Miss Jenny's book, you can make this kind of sock. It's not that hard once you know how to do it. Okay, so who knew I was going to get sidetracked? Anyway, we're going to get our pattern. And for this pattern, we are going to choose a center needle. Okay? Then we have the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth needle on either side. Actually, this goes out to 7 needles. But we won't be using all 14, 15 needles because the pattern only goes out to the 4th needle past the 0. So while we were doing this, you have to think about where you want to work your pattern. Okay? You can work your pattern down the front of the sock by working it up here at 12 o'clock. You can work your pattern at the sides by either 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I worked this pattern at the 6 o'clock position because I wanted it to go down the back of his leg so when he looks down, he can get the message. Okay, so what I've done, do I have a question? No? Thank you, Miss Pam. She says I look nice in my red. Nobody has even mentioned my hairdo today, and I'm kind of disappointed about it. Anyway, I took my Sharpie marker, and the reason I am doing it at this 4 o'clock position is because that is where Ron can show us what's happening, this action, the very best. So I chose to work my pattern over here at 4 o'clock. But think about where you want it on your garment, okay? So the first thing that our pattern says to do is we're going to move the 1 needle and the number 1 needle. We're going to move both of those left. Now the patterns that show the when you see the grid pattern, there'll be a little arrow, and that'll tell you where to move that needle to, or that stitch to. So once I move these, I just use my pick and I move the yarn over, move the yarn over. I'm going to crank past there, then I'm going to crank past there one more time. Okay? Now I'm going to do the center needle, and I'm going to move that guy left. I'm going to check my phone. We'll go around and around again. Now I'm going to move this over. Let's see, does that make me on row 5? Yeah, and now I'm on 6, and then this one will be 7. Okay. Hey Ron, I think some people are having a problem and they're logged into the other Ustream. They're watching the other one, maybe? Because people are sending me messages saying that they are not on. I'm not on. Okay, sorry about that, guys. They can't tell. Okay, they're just going to have to figure it out on their own because some people are confused. Probably you can include me in that category, can't you? Anyway, we are on 1, 3, 5, 7. Let's move, and then that would be 8. Here is 9. Crank it, crank by. Let's do 11. Now, if you want to get less confused about this, you can always reset your counter, and that way you'll know what row you're on. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes on my pattern. Now, you might decide that you like it with 5 holes. It doesn't matter. Now, I want to show you something too. If this is going around and your yarn falls off of there, in order to make that hole to be nice and distinct, let's go ahead and hang that yarn back on that needle. So I'm going to crank by it, or actually crank by it the second time. Now I'm going to do the little serifs on the eye. Now I'm going to crank 5 rows in between the eye. Now it's time to do the heart. So we're going to look at the pattern again, and we're going to note that the 0 line is down here, but we want to start here 0, 1, and 2, 0, 1, and 2. So it's 2, 2. Now, everybody has a different heart pattern. This is just one heart pattern. This is just one way to do it. Okay, so 0, 1, 2. So I want to move this one to the left. 0, 1, 2. And this one. Okay, that would be my other left, which would be my right. 1, 2. Let's see which one we have to do now. So we have to do 1 and 3 and 1 and 3. So here's my 0. I'm going to do 1. I'm going to do 3. Going to do 1. And going to do 3. Okay. Now then, I'm on row 5 of my pattern, and I want to do 4, 0, and 4. Hearts are easy because they're very symmetrical once you get to know what you're doing here. So there's 4, Now the 0 I can move. I'm going to always just keep moving everything in that direction, in the right, towards the right. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Let's see. Now then, that was my widest point on the heart, and now I'm going to start coming back down like this. Remember that I'm working from the cuff down. If you are working from the toe up, you want to work a pattern upside down. That's pretty clear, isn't it, people? So now we're going to start decreasing back down to the point of the heart. So I want to do, whoops, take all my stitches the same direction. So I'm doing 3 and 3, crank around. Now I'll do 2 and 2. 1, crank around. Now I'm going to do 1 and 1. Whoops. One and 1. Crank around. Now, then I've got my heart. Okay, so if it didn't have so much pressure on it, it wasn't being pulled down so by the weight, so you can see that's an upside down heart. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so now I'm going to go 5 rows, and then I'm going to do U. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. Now I'm going to look at my pattern and see where the center is on the U. And the first row, I want to do the number 2 needle on the left and the number 2 needle on the right. So here's my 0, 1, and 2. Remember, we're always moving 0, 1, and 2. Crank by. Going to do the same thing. 1, 2. Now, I guess you can tell I've been practicing on this a little bit because I've made quite a few of these. And this is 1, 2, 3, well, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So I'm going to check back over here at my pattern, and then I'm going to do one more set of holes, except I've already cranked around. Almost made a mistake there. There you go. 1, there's 11. And you'll see on row 13, here's what I do for the row 13. I put the number 1 needle and the number 1 needle. I move those over. Now, if I moved this one over, which already has stitches on it, it would look silly. So I'm just going to leave that one blank, and it'll still make the U shape. This will just be a little line of yarn in between. Okay? So, there's that. And there's my I Heart You pattern. Okay, so you could do that pattern, and you could, well, I mean, you can print as many of these as you want. So if you wanted to do it around the leg, you could cut this out and put the I and then the heart and the U next to it. But then you have to know on row 1, you're doing all these things and all these needles. So if you're going to go all the way around with a pattern and do the lace all the way around, I did an XOXO for Jeff's socks, and I tried them on because I wanted to show you. But my legs were so white underneath that this had more color than my leg, and you couldn't see the pattern when I tried them on because I didn't think he'd mind if I wore his socks. It's kind of cold. Anyway. You're going to have to scooch in here, Ron. Okay, you see my X and my O? Hang on. Okay, you see my X's? There's an X, there's an O, no, there's an X, there's the O, there's the X, there's the O. My sister says you can't really tell that it says XOXO, so I told her it's like a Valentine secret message, but it's a lace pattern, okay? So I'm going to show you how to do this. Now, every pattern that you read is going to be a little different. Okay, every pattern is going to be a little different. Where'd my pattern go? And on the second sheet of this pattern, I had to do it sideways on the sheet because you can see my XO, XO, XO. That's how it's spaced out. Now I just drew this out by hand, okay, on graph paper, and then I translated over to the computer so it would look nice for you guys. Keep staying there. You can see this one down here, it's an XO, XO, XO pattern, and it's on a 60 cylinder, okay? The longer one is a 72 and this is on a 60 cylinder. But you could take graph paper and draw out your number of needles and do your own design. That's what I really wanted to show you today, is how to create your own design in lace. Okay, this is not rocket science. It's not even a hard math problem. So I want to put some rows in between here so we get the I heart you out of the way. Now, when I do this all the way around business, here's what I do. I mark my cylinder that, I'll try to do it with my right hand. I'm left-handed, so that might be. That is going to be my number 1 needle, okay? Then I'm going to say 2, 3, 4, 5. You follow me around, Ron. Okay, so my marker is out of ink, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mark every fifth needle. This is my first one. This is my 5th one. Okay? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that way, there's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I can figure out where I am in my pattern, because in the middle it gets very complicated and confusing. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And I'm only going to do it on half, but the back half would be just the same. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Oh, I've got a question. You can download this pattern. Miss Sue wants to know where she can download this pattern. You can download this pattern by going to erlbachergearhart.com. And on our website, you can, there's a free pattern section, and you can download all these patterns that we've been working on. Okay, so I'm right here, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Need to make a mark right here. And that gets me around to this. I'm just going to show you guys the front half of this pattern, because it does get very confusing. And if I need to talk and do it at the same time, you know how that's going to look, right? So what I'm going to do, and the pattern's going to be available. You don't need to jump over there right now and download it. But what I'm going to do, this is a 60 cylinder. So I'm just going to go row by row, because on the XOXO, it's the same top, upside down or right side up, right? So I'm going to go row by row. So I want to say that needle 1, needle 5, needle 7, needle 9. Okay, 1, 5, 7, 9, 13, 15, 17, 21, 23, 25, and 29. Okay, so I'm going along my pattern, and those are the stitches that I want to move. Wish me luck here, people. So 1, 5, 7, and 9. So this is, I decided that's my first stitch. I'm going to start over here, but you can start in the middle. It doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I got another question. No, it's the same question, sorry. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I'm going to refer back to my pattern. 13, 15, 17. So this would be 10. And I know it's 10 because I've got the cylinder marked because I was smart and marked ahead. 10, 11, 12, 13. 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, what's after that? 21, 23, 25, and 29. 18, 19, 20, 21. 22, 23. 24, 25. 26, 27, 28, 29. And again, I know that this is my 29th needle because right next door I can see that I've marked my 30th needle when I was marking every 5, because you don't want to lose track of your count. So let's go ahead and go 1, then we're going to go crank again, and now we're going to do our pattern again. Now, I do want to caution you, on some patterns you crank once and then you move your stitches so that the pattern is smaller, but on this one I wanted it to be a nice wide, real standout-ish pattern. So then we have 2, 4, oh, this one's going to be easy. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. Every other needle, starting with needle 2. I can handle that. Okay, so this is my first needle. Here's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, okay, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. See, I'm not even talking to y'all and I got myself confused. 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 'kay, there's 25, 26, 28. Wait, do we move 28? Yep, we moved 28. I'm going to crank around. Okay, so you can see the pattern starting to form. Okay, now we're on row 5 of our pattern, so we're going to do, okay, Sue says she noticed that I pinch my thumb against the cylinder when I'm transferring the stitches. I think it just gives me more stabilization because I'm going to transfer over here, and I'm pulling this needle out so that I have a good thing to grab, and then I'm pulling it over and I just grab it to give myself more stability. Okay, so back to row 5, we're going to go 3, 6, 8, 11. First needle, second needle, third needle. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. $14, $16, $19, $22. So that's 11 to 12, 13, 14, 16, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay. What's next? 22, 24, and 27. So that was 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Okay? Crank all the way around. One more time. So we are already on our 7th row of our pattern. How am I doing on time? I've got 5 minutes. Do you think I can do it? I think this is that every other one again, starting with needle 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 to 9. Now, wait a minute. Yeah, it's that one. Okay, I'm lost in my own pattern. Okay, I'll show you. The question is 1 crank around between each row. Yes, and the reason I'm doing 1 crank around in between each row is because it spreads the lace pattern out a little farther, like this. Now, let's see if I can find myself in this pattern. So we wanted to do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This would be 12. 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 20, wait a minute, 18, 19, that's 20, that's the one, 22, whoa, I almost lost the whole project right there, 23, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Let's scoot that one over there. Alrighty. 29, 230. That's what I meant to say. Alright, now, watch this. Can you go to this camera over my shoulder? We're going to crank past these needles that don't have stitches on them. Now, to stretch my pattern out and give more definition to my holes or my laciness of my pattern, I'm going to back to this camera, crank around again. Now I'm ready to do my last row on my pattern. So, we can look at, I'm going to do 1, 5, 7, and 9. Go back over here and find my first needle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 8, and 9. Okay, what's after 9? I'm going to hold my finger on 9. 13, 15, 17. Okay. 10, 11, 12, 13. 14, 15, 17. I'm going to hold my finger on 17. Then I'm going to do 21, 23, 25, and 29. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Let's scoot forward just a little bit. Let's see, 25 and 29 will be our last one. 26, 27, 28, 29. All right, now, here's where the rubber meets the road, people. Did I do it? There, we're going to crank around one time. We're going to crank around again. Now that pattern is finished. So let's pop this baby off the machine and see if I got the pattern right or not. It's a good thing that it doesn't matter. You know what? I needed to crank more rows, but isn't that a pretty pattern? He's going to show you out here in just a second. See? And if my If I had cranked more rows to give myself time, or to give myself more space, you could see the X's and the O's. And it looks really pretty. But it can also be a secret message to your Valentine too. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, you can download this pattern at www.earlbachergearheart.com. earlbachergearheart.com. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Thank you for joining us.